This is James Lupton, delighted to be joined with Paul Spadafora. Paul, how are you?
Good, you?
Yeah, very good, thank you, very good. I want to start off right back at the beginning. Boxing was in the bloodline for you. Your granddad, sparring partner for Rocky Marciano. Talked about
Yeah.
growing up and just being around boxing. What was that like for you as a kid?
Well, I've been in the gym my whole life. My father boxed, my brother Harry boxed, my cousin boxed. My cousin beat Joe Maxim beat Sugar Ray Robinson. Remember Joe Maxim, like heavyweight champion from Cleveland. But I've been in the gym my whole life, so just support system. It was just like riding a bike.
What does boxing mean to you?
To me, it's like church. You know what I mean? It saved my life. Boston saved my life. I couldn't see myself without Boston, you know?
I want to talk about one man who was majorly influential to you, and that was Charles Pakora. Just talk to me about him and how he changed your life.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. I was living with a pedophile for probably like 4 or 5 years. And I met PK, and when I met PK, my whole life changed. How it was just like a complete three, like a whole, you know what I mean? 360, you know? Like the sort of like the Tyson story. You know what I mean? But everybody knows Customado. That's how PK was to me. Like it was just like a new way of life, man. Coming off the store, I was on the streets, and he paid my rent, paid my all my clothes, my schools, where I was at. You know what I mean? He was just like it was a blessing.
What was that like for you to have somebody do all these kind, amazing things for you? Probably for the first time in your life.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. He told me when I was a young kid. He said, I've been waiting for a kid like you to come in the gym for 50 years. That's what he told me. He was, yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Obviously, for you, Paul, you had a lot of belief in yourself and your ability from a very young age. I think it might have actually been in PK's gym. You walked in there and you was boxing Southpaw and saying, "No, no, you've got to do this. You've got to go orthodox." You're going, "No, no, this is how I'm doing it. I'm not changing my style for nobody." Talk about your belief and your mindset and your ability.
Well, I always believed in myself. I had a very, 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 I was a hothead as a young kid, real temper. I mean, well, I would fight the principals. You know what I mean? The schools. I got kicked out of probably maybe. I've been to probably like 30 or 40 schools. I've been kicked out of every one of them. You know what I mean? Always for fighting. And when PK told, whenever PK came in my life, he like made it to like to made me believe that like Paul, you don't gotta do that. Like you need to hold that in. You need to box. Yeah, you gotta boom. Boxing. That's what he taught me. Be careful, cautious, and safe at all times. I was the opposite of that. Nah, seriously, I was the opposite of that. Like out in life, I wasn't like that. But he instilled that in me. You know.
For you, I feel throughout your whole career, you always needed somebody to look up to, needed that father figure, that role model, and that somebody who was going to be disciplined enough to keep you in line as well. Like PK, Jesse Reed also. And I actually messaged Jesse Reed before we set this up and asked him to give me something about yourself. And this is what he said to me. I wish all fighters had Paul's heart and dedication. I think of him just like a son. I'm very proud of him and what he's doing. I hope everything goes well for him. The greatest story I can tell you is that Paul was very dedicated, loves the game, and that's the most important thing I can say. God bless. What did Jesse Reed mean to you?
Man, Jesse was a very, very inspirational person for me from in my life. I called him up yesterday just out of the blue. I just was thinking about Jesse. I called Jesse and I told him, I said, Jesse, I said, yeah, I just want to let you know that I love you and you mean so much to me. You know what I mean? I just called Jesse and I just told him. I mean, because listen, because I gotta go like this. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I got knocked down when I fought Sosa, right? Look. Jesse was like this. Look, say he was on the stool, right? He's like he turned. I'm knocked out. Like when I say knocked out, I'm knocked out. I'm like this. I'm ready. I'm like, man, I'm done. I'm done. I quit. He goes like this. He goes, ain't you the guy? Ain't you the guy that used to? We walked around the track. You had to kill me in there. Did I used to say that? He's like, look at that guy. The guy.
Because he was tired too.
He was exhausted. He was exhausted. He was like after. I mean, he had me booked, bro. I was knocked out. And Jesse, and just one, but he made me. How do you say? How can I say that? He made confidence, but he made me believe in myself.
Well, that's confidence too.
You know what I mean? Like I believed in myself. Hey, look, I believed in myself, and Jesse was a big part of that.
A lot of boxing, especially in training and camp or whatever else, is about gaining those extra 1%. Did people like PK and Jesse and the guys in your corner, did they give you extra 1% each fight, each camp, each session?
Yeah, for sure. Like, and that's what I want to tell you about different people and like this is different people and like different trainers and different like people in your life, man. Like Tommy and Kello. Like Tommy was a great trainer, and Tommy believed in me. You know, I mean, yeah, everybody did the right thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Paul, I was going to ask you about your tattoos. You can see them on show there. Each tattoo represents a story from throughout your life. Just talk to me about why you decided to express stories and journeys through tattoos.
You know what? I don't know. I don't know. I just like, I put my whole life. If you look at my whole body, it's a whole story. You know what I mean? I mean, I first started with the tattoo on my neck. This one with the gloves, and then the southpaw, and then Jesus, and then Mary. You know, just just my life. You know.
Absolutely. Is it for you almost like, I suppose, daily reminders to reflect on the journey you've been through?
Yeah, for sure.
This is something I'd normally ask you at the end of the interview. I'm going to ask you now after talking about this and your journeys and etc. and your tattoos. Are you looking at where you are now? Are you proud of what you've overcome and where you are today?
Yeah, because I probably should have been dead or life in prison. You know what I mean? I mean, for what? I mean, and then I have just this. I'll show you alone. Like this is like unbelievable to me. My wife accept me back in her life. You know, I shot her, right?
Hmm.
That ain't no joke. Serious stuff. Now look what I got. Look. See that
Yeah.
boxing ring? Look, that's PK right there. That's me. Pernell used to, Pernell Whitaker used to train me.
Yeah.
You know, it's just unbelievable, unbelievable where I came from. Like I would have never ever thought you couldn't even tell me if you told me this like about 10 years ago, Paul. You're gonna have your own gym. You're gonna be doing this. You're gonna be training fighters. I would. I, I was out there, man. I had a hard life, man. I was out there.
Does coaching give you a purpose now?
Yes, oh, for sure. Because I look at it like this. You can't call yourself a coach until you bring them from the ground up. Anybody can have any I have a couple fighters that I never brought. I didn't Tavon. You'll probably hear about him. I think he'll be. Me personally, I think he'll be a world champion. He's a 112 pounder. I definitely think he'll be a world champion. But like it gives me a reason to it helps me out. It just helps me in life. You know what I mean? Like because you can't talk about it. You got to be about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
once they see that, and the kids see that you're like that, you know, I think that it just helps me by helping them. It helps me.
Definitely. I mean, going back again, when you were 16 years old, you sparred Lamar Williams in preparation for his fight against Oscar De La Hoya. And then years later, when you was experienced, you sparred a young Devin Haney, and the roles were almost reversed in that situation. Do you feel like you've always been learning and building up to be a teacher?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I look at it like this. Like I've been in a lot of situations, like a lot of fighting situations, boxing. You know, I mean, and I think everything.
No, absolutely. Um, I want to go back to your pro debut. I mentioned earlier about the belief you had in yourself and the belief that guys like PK gave you.
Told everybody. I told everybody in the locker room. I told everybody. I said, This thing, this guy is not the main event." I'll never forget it. Ralphie Tiger Jones. He was fighting the main event. I said, "No, listen, you guys don't understand." I told the whole locker room, "I'm the main event. I'm gonna be the main event. You'll see. You're gonna one day come and see me be the main event."
Well, that's what I was going to ask you because, I mean, what was it? October 18th, 95. You felt you deserved to be that main event that night. And obviously, years later, you were main event on many, many occasions. Obviously, world champion, August 20th, 1999. You fought for that IBF lightweight world title. Just talk to me about we mentioned the journey outside of the ring, and it's been very much a roller coaster up and down for your highs and lows throughout your life. In terms of inside that ring, was that a home for you? Was it an escape for you inside that ring?
You know what it is? I told somebody yesterday. It was like church to me. Boxing was like church to me. Like it was like some it was like uh uh somewhere you're gonna be safe at. You know what I mean? Like safe. Like it meant like that to me. Like the gym was safe to me. It was like, you can't even I can't even explain it. That my man asked me yesterday. It was just yesterday. He said, what is boxing like to you? I said like church. It was like church. You know what I mean? And I never went to a church that didn't help me, that didn't save me, that didn't. You know what I mean? Like even the church I go to right now, it's just like welcoming, warming. People are like you. You're just protected by God. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the way, but that's the way the gym was. Like, never had no problems in the gym. I mean, never. No matter how tough it gets, it ain't never no problem. You know, and nothing that I can't handle. You know what I mean?
But do you still feel that now as a coach and a trainer? Do you still feel it's your church? It's still an escape for you?
Yeah, for 100% positive. Yeah. Any gym I go to, it just feels like that. There's nothing that I can't, nothing I can't handle. I'll be all right no matter where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because I know exactly what I'm doing in there. I know one thing. You don't talk when you're in the gym. There's nothing to talk about. You just get it done. You got to work. You know what I mean? And I don't have no problem with that.
What did it mean to you when you won the world title, that world championship, when you believed in yourself so much all your life?
It was like a dream come true. Like I never really thought of myself was gonna be I never thought of myself would be a champion. You know what I mean? I always thought of myself. I knew I was a main event fighter. I always wanted to be a main event fighter, a guy that would go in people's backyards and just beat the brakes off them. Now that's why I always looked at myself like that. And and then it come to the point where people was coming in my home, like in my city, and you know what I mean. It was it was a it was a blessing.
You mentioned earlier about Pana Whitaker as well. What was that like? Because he went from your idol to your coach.
It was so crazy because he didn't even Pernell didn't even know me when he started to train me. He said, "Oh, I'll never forget it when he walked he was walking up to Seven Malcolm's gym. He's like, where's his help at?" I just got done running 5 miles. I said, I just got done running 5 miles. I'm not sparring today. He's like, you what? He said, you did what? He said, oh hell no. He said, oh hell no. He said, you gotta get it. He said, tomorrow, if his help ain't here now, I'm leaving tomorrow if he can't fight. You know what I mean? He was with me for like 3 years.
For you, I mentioned earlier about your tattoos representing your life journey and your stories as such. You obviously wrote your book, and that came out a couple of years ago. What was it like for you to revisit your life's journey in your book?
Uh, uncomfortable, uncomfortable because just telling the truth, and you're saying you're talking to people in the world that don't even know you, and you're just like it was uncomfortable.
Did you have to almost hold yourself accountable for some certain things that you may not have done before?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel better for writing the book, or
Uncomfortable, uncomfortable. I mean, yeah,
rather get punched in the face for 12 rounds instead?
yeah. I'd rather get punched in the head.
Absolutely. Um, Obviously, I've read your book. It's a fantastic read, Paul. Really, really enjoyed it. That's where I've done my research for this interview. And I wanted to speak to you about obviously Floyd Mayweather. Can't talk to you without talking about Mayweather. This one of the greatest rivalries that never really happened in the ring, or at least in front of a crowd, let's say. But I want to go back. Obviously, everyone knows about the sparring session that happened between the two of you. But I want to go back to your first meeting with Floyd at a Golden Gloves tournament in an elevator. Talk to me about that.
I'll never forget that. I was in listen to this. So that's what I'm saying about when people talk about sparring. I like you don't talk about to me about sparring with Mayweather. I mean, come on, man. There's levels to the game. You know what I mean? Mayweather's a goat. Mayweather's could possibly be the best ever. Me, I don't think he's the best ever, but he was definitely you can consider him the best ever. people could talk about him. Well, they could arguably say he's the best ever. But I was in an elevator with him. He's like, hey yo, white boy, who you fighting tonight? I said, I'm fighting Salvador Zasso, right? He's like, oh yeah, that's my man. Yeah, I turned around. I'm like, who you fighting tonight? He's like, I'm not fighting nobody. I knocked. Listen to this. Listen to this. I knocked everybody out. Wait to hear this. And he said I knocked everybody out at 112. I knocked everybody out at 119. And I'm knocking everybody out at 125. And you know what he did? He did. That's what he did. You know what I mean? That's what he did. That's some serious stuff to do that. In the amateurs, I mean, I was just at the nationals. To do that type of thing is unbelievable. I mean, you got to be a special individual to do exactly what he did, and he did it. Listen, I fought. I lost to James Baker twice. He fought James Baker in the Olympic trials to go to whoever wins the 125 goes to the Olympics. He knocked him out in the first round. I lost to him twice. You know what I'm saying? So when people talk about sparring, I don't want to hear that shit about sparring. No, I mean, I don't even like talking about sparring like that. Sparring is, look, I've been in the gym my whole life. Probably got about, I mean, I got 100 amateur fights, 52 professional fights. I probably lost about 1 million times in the gym. If you're going to talk about sparring, I mean, we're talking about 1 million times. I probably sparred and probably lost 1 million times sparring. You know what I mean? So that's night and day. When the lights come on, it's different.
Definitely. Um, you almost, well, it seemed like you was going to fight Floyd as a professional later on in your career, and he'd almost held up a little bit of your career a little bit. How frustrated was you when that never happened?
I mean, so frustrating because it held me back, and I mean, I love my promoter. My managers were the best. Al McCauley, Jimmy Rizzo, they were the best managers ever. But it held me back because my promoter was thinking I'm always talking about Floyd. We're gonna fight for get the money with Floyd. You know what I mean? When there was Arturo Gotti, Stevie Johnson, Caesar Bazan. I mean, there were so many other guys out there that I think that it held me back big time because he was so focused on getting Mayweather. For real, I mean, not to be say that, fuck Mayweather. We can fight all these other guys. You know what I mean? These are my dream fights. Like Mayweather, okay, you fight Mayweather. What does that mean? That don't mean nothing. To me, it don't mean nothing. It's a regular fight. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand that. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand it. And then I got to the point where 2012 when he fought well, I was supposed to fight Mayweather. It was that this is what they was talking about for a whole year, and he fought Victor Ortiz. Then I realized that he don't want to get me a fight. He that from them from that whoever leaked that sparring session from him doing that from whoever did that ruined my chances of fighting Floyd. Not even an exhibition. He's fighting uh Gaudi's son. I mean, come on.
Do you think with all the trials and tribulations you went through in your career, that helps you and puts you at a bit of an advantage with your fighters as a coach because you can guide them, potentially wave you around that
100%,
you can avoid?
100% positive. 100%. 100%. Because I know what you're doing before you do it. Like you come in the gym with the dumb shit, I already know. You know, and I can tell what type of individual you are in the workouts. You show up every day. And if there's any days that you show up the wrong way, I can see it, you
And
know?
absolutely, yeah. And you mentioned earlier, obviously, coaching gives you a purpose. Still, it's something that you're really passionate about. And the last thing I wanted to ask you, Paul, and I'm glad you sat back down there because over your shoulder is a poster of Gino. What is it like to coach and guide Gino?
Let down. Like my son could fight, but he has to want to fight, you know? And and I think that I mean, I when I come out here from Pittsburgh, I come out here originally to train Genie. He said that he was training with Jesse Reed. He was training with my coach, and Jesse was telling me, he's really looking good, this, and that. I come out here to train him. I gave up everything. I just left everything. I just left Pittsburgh and come out here, and he never fought after that. I just, you know, let them.
Mm. Um, Paul, we've spoke. It's very easy. I think as you probably get all the time when people interview you. It's very easy to talk about all the negative stuff you've been through in your life and career. So I don't want to do that. I want to ask you, what was your favorite or happiest memory from your career?
Definitely when I won a world title, and the way I won it, he was telling. He was saying in the thing, he made my mom cry. He was like, yeah, he can run. He's gonna run and run and run and run. He said, but he can't hide. And I'm just like, I don't even know if I. Let me just tell you something. If I wanted to run, I couldn't. There's no way I could run. I got shot by the cops. I ain't running from nobody, and there's no one I can run from. I could never run from anybody in the boxing ring. I ain't have legs like that to run. You know, I'm gonna be in front of you. You ain't gonna have to find me. You'll be in there with me. Like, I'm gonna be in front of you no matter what. The best fight I fight is when I'm fighting on the inside. You know, it might look like I'm running because you're missing, but not.
Too slick from Paul. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Um, when you won that world title, did you get a sense of relief? Everything you've worked for.
I think that that night like that was my peak. I think, and a lot of fighters, a lot of great fighters, the great fighters, they get better when they win the world title. I didn't get better. I got worse. It didn't make me, and my wife gets mad at me about this, but the money made me not good. It affected me a different way. I never had money in my life. Like I'm from the projects. I never had no money. You know what I'm saying? Like my 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 mom was on crack. My dad died at OD. Like we never had nothing. So when money made me, I was in the streets. And then when I was I mean, I'm just being honest with you. And you know what the streets are about. You got money now? Shit. You know what I mean? Things happen. You know what I mean?
What obviously money, I don't know if the right word is to say it changed you in a negative way, but what was the one thing in your life that changed for you for the positive? Was it getting back with your wife? Was it your children? What was it for you that was a turning point?
Definitely my wife. Definitely my wife. Like, yeah, my wife for sure.
I feel, especially from reading your book and just from today's call, and obviously I've been dealing with your wife to set this into you up, and I feel like she's probably been probably a bigger.
Bro, she never gave up on me. Imagine, listen to this. Let me tell you something. Imagine shooting somebody in the chest. You hear me?
Mm.
She sorry, ain't it? That ain't no option to me. You shoot me, motherfucker. Nah, no. Now it's get back for me. That's my thought process. She never gave up on me. She still understands, man. She's still with me. You know, all these trials and tribulations, everything we've been through, like it's unbelievable. You know, just to accept me back here. You know what I mean? That's just it just I just goes to show you how great God is, you know, how beautiful He is. You know what I mean?
What does it mean to
Yeah,
you that she didn't give up on you? Probably, again, probably the first person in your life who didn't give up on you as such.
the only person that didn't give up on me, probably the only person. Like I got my brother Harry. He never gave up on me either. But it's still like it's different.
Mm. And just a very last question, Paul. The future. What does the future hold for Paul Spadafora?
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I mean, sky's the limit. That's how I could say it. I mean, I can see myself training multiple champions. You know what I mean? I can see myself bringing a kid up like me, had we're nowhere to go and make the gyms like church. And you're, I can see myself doing all that. You know what I mean? I can see myself doing all
Still got the same belief in yourself as a coach as you did as a
that.
fighter.
Yeah, yes, for sure. But I mean, me personally, I think I'm going to be a better coach than I was a fighter. That's just my opinion. You know,
Absolutely.
I, I just see things different than most people. I believe I do. You know,
No, absolutely. And it's
I've
just
been like that my whole life, and I love boxing. I like whenever you love something like the way I love boxing. I don't see I just see myself like making like God wouldn't put that on me. You know, it's like it's in me. It ain't on me. You feel me? Like it's in me. I love it. I love it with my heart. I'm not doing it. There's not a motive. You know, that's a beautiful about money and this and that. But the way I am, the way it is. I love boxing.
no, definitely. Paul, I want to thank you very much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure speaking to you.